Alright, what is up everybody? I am back with the best Mario Kart game in the series. This is Mario Kart 64. I'm going to be playing through all 4 of these cups here on 150cc, and I'm going to be using all of the various skips and glitches and shortcuts and whatnot to make this go by super fast. So let's just go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we got some pretty entertaining glitches and skips and whatnot in this run, and the first one is actually right at the start here. Hopefully I can get this. Oh, I didn't get the start boost. So had I got the start boost, I would have tried to boost it in DK there, and I would have tried to shoot myself over the wall there, and land in the tunnel below. It would have taken me about 12 or 13 seconds, but that's fine. Not a huge deal. There's I think 11 out of the 16 tracks here actually have skips, so you'll get to see at least some of them. So I should probably talk about this driving technique I'm doing, because this is kind of the main tech in this game. This is something called a mini turbo, where as I'm drifting, I'm oscillating the control stick back and forth, and it's changing the smoke color. Once it reaches orange, I can release it, and it will give me a small boost of speed, and that's kind of the key mechanic of going fast there. Or the key mechanic going fast in this game. It's really hard to optimize. And as you can tell, I'm having a good time. So I wanted to grab the item box after that balloon because it always has a blue shell in it. And the blue shell is pretty useful. It's going to hopefully come in handy at the start of lap 3 here. See if I can get this. Got it, nice. So that was similar to what I was going for on lap 1, where instead of using a CPU to do it, I just used the blue shell to shoot me over that wall. Because the blue shell targets first place, it makes it really easy to hit myself. And you get a pretty high tumble when you do that, so it's pretty good. So that's one track down. So during these point screens, I am actually going to be speeding them up by holding start and mashing A. Like so. That's the fastest way to advance through those. So moving forward does not have any shortcuts or glitches or skips of any kind, so this track, this is going to be one of the non-shortcut tracks in the run. Pretty much the only thing I have to worry about on this track are the RNG holes, and hopefully they won't get in my way. I have a boo now, so that'll allow me to get over them pretty easily, because boos give me some invincibility things. So I'll go ahead and talk about some of the basics behind running this game. First of all, you'll probably notice I'm playing as Yoshi. So Yoshi, Toad, and Peach all tied for having the fastest top speed. However, the main reason why I use Yoshi is because he's just quicker to select off the kart menu than the other two. And also, Yoshi and Peach are slightly heavier than Toad, which only matters when interacting with other characters. Another thing that's probably should be worth mentioning is all the items are RNG. What items you can get and the probabilities of getting them is known and is dependent on what place you're in. So for example, I know that a single green shell is a 30% chance and a mushroom is actually a 10% chance in first place. So there are some glitches in this run that will require me to have specific items, so that's those will come later. Also the CPUs are a little weird in this game, so when a CPU is, they do rubber band in this game, but they do so in a really weird way, where if a CPU is off camera, physics just don't apply to them, so they end up constantly in a boost state, and also sometimes they can drive through walls, but I don't know how much of that goes to sleep. Yeah, that track is pretty basic. Thankfully I didn't run into any moles. It's very aggravating whenever you do that, and usually there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm happy that that worked out. Here's Cooper Trooper Beach. This track also does not have anything that would qualify as a skip, but it does have an in-track shortcut that was built into the course, which is allowed in no skips, because, you know, that's another category you can run. And it does have a glitch that's also not categorized as a skip. So this tunnel that you're about to see here is obviously built into the course, so it's allowing no skips. And coming up here is a little bit of a glitch called the finish line glitch. Let's see if I can show this off here. Nice. So you're not actually supposed to be able to get lightnings in first place. what I did there, there's mismapped polygons to the right of the finish line that mistakenly think you're behind by a lap instead of forward a lap. So, if you activate an item while on those polygons, it thinks for a few frames that you're in 8th place, and so you'll actually get an 8th place item. And often when you do that, you're aiming for something like a star or a golden mushroom, a speed item that will save you a little bit of time. Like, this is a good item right here. So as you can see, that glitch does exist in several other courses, but it does take a little bit of extra setup to get the glitch in those courses, so you probably only see me do it here. CPUs are... I'm surprised I made that those CPUs are kind of right there. The CPUs kind of love to get in your way sometimes, and in addition, the CPUs, they can pick up shells, but they will never use shells. So you'll never, if I get hit by a shell in this run, it'll be my own shell. And the 8th place CPU does have a 1% chance of getting a lightning, so it could happen, but it's very rare. Alright, so next is Calamari Desert. So this is the first track of the variety I was talking about earlier, where there's a skip that requires me to have a specific item. So this is the first one I'm going to be sandbagging. I think one of the only times I'm actually be sandbagging in this room. So I'm going to grab an item box here and I'm going to go back into 8th place. And alright, triple reds, this could be good. Let's see what I get here. Nice! That's actually perfect. So, triple reds also allow me to do something a little interesting. I'm actually going to play it safe here. I don't want to get hit by this string, so I'm just going to wait for it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to head into this side of the tunnel here. I'm going to fire off these 2 red shells for later. Turn around, activate the star, and then this is a developer-intended shortcut that I'm doing in an unintended way. Across the finish line like that. And I'm going to wait for the star to wear out so I don't lose my lap. And now I'm going to head back over here. And these 2 red shells are just kind of here waiting for me. And I can use them to deal with something like this. That was actually pretty good RNG. I don't normally get that kind of block, but yeah. So I'll probably do this third lap now shortcut. So I'm going to be holding this banana behind me, by the way, because for whatever reason, zooming out the screen like this actually reduces lag. There are a few tracks where this is actually... Big item box in my way. There are a few tracks where this is actually more useful than others. On this track, the train is only very laggy, so this is very helpful. And once I reach the finish line, I'm actually going to reset the console, because that will skip me having to watch the drum ceremony, and you don't have to watch that in this category. So right as I'm about to cross the finish line, I hold down the reset button, and then I let it go, so the console resets immediately. So that's Mushroom Cup done, and then we're going to be moving on to Flower Cup, and we're going to start with Toad's Turnpike, which has one of the more tricky shortcuts to start off with, so let's see if I can get this in a reasonable amount of time. Alright, so that was not a mistake, I meant to do that. I think I almost had it, but my timing was not quite there. Alright. So, what I did there was a little something called, it's often referred to as the Lakitu effect. So basically, when Lakitu's still on the screen after he picks you up, he actually can't pick you up again. So I basically just beat him to the out-of-bounds section, and that allows me to kind of jump from the higher level to the lower level there. Now, unfortunately, I didn't do that shortcut quite properly, so I am going to have to do it again. I wasn't over the road when I jumped from the higher level to the lower level, so we're going to have to do this again. Hopefully I can get this quickly. Okay, that was much, much better. So because I was more lined up with the road when I did it that time, I really wanted this bus, yeah, I saw that coming. That was a really bad trick there. So because I was a lot more above the road when I did that shortcut that time, that's basically setting me up to break the checkpoint system in this track for whatever reason. This is a thing. So where now all I have to do is jump out of bounds once I cross the finish line, and it'll just warp me halfway across the track. Yeah, like that. And these cars are all on cycles, but I don't normally play this track well enough to memorize cycles. So... as you can see here again, I'm just doing all these mini turbos. I'm trying to get as much of a speed boost out of them as possible. That actually didn't go too badly. It's very easy for me to mess up that like need to effect shortcut a bunch of times because there isn't really a good way to time when you're supposed to do the jump. But that was still very solid overall for resetless. Alright, so here is Frappe Snowland, which is probably the easiest track in the entire run. And it's one of the shortest too. You can literally do the shortcut at home. So I'm just gonna turn around here, head to this bridge, turn around, and I'm gonna jump onto the bridge into the snow without touching the road, and then cross the finish line and go out of bounds. And as you're about to see here, I'm just gonna get more forward by an entire lap, and I'm just gonna do this 3 times in a row, and the race will be over. Basically, there are certain checks in this game to make sure that if you need to go far enough ahead of the finish line, and it will let, if you're far enough ahead of the finish line when you start, then it will let certain things slide. So since I end up ahead of the finish line and like two places me behind the finish line like that, it ends up allowing me to just skip entire laps. Again, it's probably the easiest shortcut in the entire game. This next track, however, is very difficult. Choco Mountain is definitely a good mid-game run ender for runners like me. So this is the first track where you'll be seeing me go for wall jumps. There are certain types of walls that are slanted in such a way that they will actually allow you to jump off of them, and you can get pretty big air. But the problem with these jumps is you need to have the right speed and angle and the frame perfect. Okay, so what happened there was I actually had, I think it was because I had too much speed. Alright, it happens there kind of as well. If you have too much speed when you're going into the wall, there's literally no frame where you're able to make the jump, so you'll automatically tumble. And it's really irritating. So the hill jump is mainly what I'll be going for, because that's the big one, and then the gray wall jump is kind of the backup for that. The gray wall jump is slightly easier to make, but it's a little bit more. You get 0 frames less often. Alright, I got 0 frames again there. Alright, so this is not a very good situation because I cannot finish in any place below 4th. If you don't finish in the top 4, you actually do have to redo a race, so if I don't get the big wall jump on this lap, I'm probably just gonna not even go for the backup. Because I would like to not lose this race. I'm in first now, so I have a bit more leeway now. I do want to show this off though, because this is a really close skip here. I almost had it. Didn't get right on here, so I'll go for this. Alright, now you got it. Don't you dare fall off. Okay. Yeah, that jump is very, very difficult though, and it's very rare that I get it more than like once in a single run. Thankfully that didn't go catastrophically, so that's at least I made it through. That's really all I can ask for. So Mario Raceway will probably end up being non-shortcut. There are a couple of shortcuts you can do in this level, including our entire lap skip you can do with red shells, but I'm not good at them. So I'm just gonna, and this is a pretty short track to begin with, so I'm just gonna go ahead and drive around. If I do get a mushroom though, I might attempt one of them, but there's a very low likelihood that I will actually get it. And even if I get a mushroom, I'll probably just go for the optimal mushroom anyways. But again, a mushroom is a 10% chance in first place, so the likelihood that I'll even get one is pretty rare. And yeah, cutting across the grass like that, that's also not considered a skip for obvious reasons. Having mushrooms though would be useful on this track because of the grass cuts you do. Yeah, the shortcut I would have gone for is where you can actually hop that wall that's in front of me and just save a few seconds. Whenever you use a boo in Grand Prix mode, it functions exactly like a normal item sandbox, except you have a 20% chance of getting nothing. So you're not actually stealing items from other CPUs. You do steal items from other CPUs in versus mode, though. Okay, so that's 2 cuts down, 2 to go. So this next track, Wario Stadium, how this track goes really depends on how much the game decides to hate you on that day. So here's another track with walls. So this first wall, you can easily hop. The second wall, not so much. Okay, yeah, I hopped the wall, but I ended up on the wrong side of the finish line. So this is another one of those jumps that's frame perfect and sometimes literally impossible, like that. So I could be here for a while. And going at it the way I'm going about it is actually very challenging. This second wall jump is very finicky. A little early there. That was a real thing. And then early there. But thankfully, this track is very short anyways. This track is still very short anyway, like these wall jumps are taking a lot of time, and I'm not even going to beat this track in under a minute. Getting over these walls is really, really annoying. So what I'm doing here whenever I'm at a stop is I'm actually just triple tapping the A button, and that allows you to accelerate a lot quicker when you're at a stop. Alright, that was really, really bad. Optimally, you can finish that course in under 30 seconds, so not finishing it in under a minute is pretty bad. Well, that's kind of what you have to expect when you... That's kind of what you expect. Yeah, that's another good place for a lot of us to die. So here's Sugarland. This track also does not have any shortcuts or skips in it. This is just going to be kind of a non-shortcut track. The penguins are on cycles, so as long as I don't make any big mistakes, I should be fine. But it's also very easy to run into a penguin, especially in this cave here. Alright. Running into a penguin causes you to spin out and get knocked backwards for almost around 2 to 3 seconds each time it happens. I also want to avoid falling into the water, because if you fall into the water, you get turned into a frozen ice cube, and it takes a couple extra seconds to break out of it, so the animation takes even longer than usual. Alright, there's a lot of bananas here. If I do happen to run into a banana, I can save myself from spinning out. If you're able to slow down enough in time, which what players do by just mashing B, and you're able to save yourself really quick. And these corner jumps I'm going for are fairly risky. So I hit the banana there, and I was actually mashing B, but I wasn't able to save myself in time. Still a pretty decent Sugarland all around. Didn't hit any penguins, didn't fall into the water. That's pretty much all you can ask for. I should also mention, though, that there are technically shortcuts on this track, but they can only really be achieved with pass. Because they require, like, crazy CPU jumps and whatnot. So, Royal Raceway has one pretty noteworthy skip on it. I'm going to be going for on all 3 laps here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hop across the river, and I'm going to try to hit a specific point on the wall. And I got it. And that fake item box is in a really bad spot. Oh, never mind. So what happened there was, you see that little polygon line that I hit on the wall? It might be hard to see if it's okay, right? You want to hit just to the right of that polygon line, and basically it tricks the game into thinking you attempted to jump from that big ramp and miss, so it will place you back on the ramp. And it saves around 13 seconds, I want to say. saves quite a bit of time. There is another shortcut you could do on this track that I'm not going to be going for because I'm really bad at it, and it doesn't save like any. It doesn't save enough time. Okay, yeah, that was a really bad attempt. I think I might actually use this mushroom to see a little bit easier. So, at this ramp here, you can actually jump off to the left and hit the wall on the far end, and then get like each of the places you know around the last corner, but it's very difficult to do and only saves like less than a second, so it's not worth it. I just gotta do this one more time and then it's gonna be over. There we go. You're actually looking for the word poop. If you don't see that word, it probably didn't work. You can also do the finish line glitch on this course, that glitch you saw in Calamari Desert, but it's a lot more difficult because you actually need a boo in order to do it. You would have, again, you would just go off to the right of the finish line and activate a boo as you pass by it. Because no items roulette no items roulette for long enough to be able to get all the way over there in time. Alright, so up next is Bowser's Castle, and this track also does not have any skips or glitches in it. Well, if you pay close attention here, though, you will find Marty. These swamps are on cycles, so provided that I do at least close to the same thing, I should be able to take the same path around them every time, but sometimes I kind of have to see and react. There's a lot of awkward places to drive in this course, like those stairs are pretty awkward, and then this big turn here and pretty annoying. It's really hard to get good mini turbos going on this track. Yeah, this track is pretty straightforward. Again, I'm holding items behind me to try and reduce lag. Alright, I should be able to go to the left here. Nice. Kind of trying to focus here. This is a pretty tough track to drive on. Nearly ran into my own into there. I have no idea which side of the lead going. I have the left here. Okay. Yeah, those swamps can be pretty irritating right there. But sometimes they're just in your way and there's nothing you can do about it. You're already driving right towards them. You can also triple tap B to come to a complete stop quicker. Much like you can triple tap A to accelerate quicker. But that was still pretty easy off this castle. That's the final reset of the run. So now we're going to be heading off to the final cup, the Special Cup. And a Special Cup is full of a bunch of really broken tracks as well. So DK's Jungle Parkway, the laggiest course in the game, might I add, has a very big shortcut in it right off the bat. So I'm just going to kind of turn around and go into the cave, and this is kind of similar to Friday Snowland. I'm going to be positioning myself around here and lining myself up with this corner over here. I'm going to drive through, flip through the wall, and the finish line extends ever so slightly out of bounds. So I kind of crossed the finish line while out of bounds, and as you can see there, I just went from 8th to 1st. So now I'm just going to do that 2 more times and the race will be over. Alright, that was a little far to the left there. You don't have to land back in the cave, but it is much faster if you do. You can cross the finish line and follow the water, and the lap will still count. Like, this is fine, right here. Yeah, getting that all 3 times in a row, pretty good. See if I can get a banana or a big iron box here. Nice. CPU is probably going to hit it though. So it's probably going to end here. So I'm just going to hold Z because you can hold items through these result screens, and this will actually be reducing the lag. Oh, so it did, yeah. So next track, Yoshi Valley, can actually go a variety of ways. I am going to be farming for a triple shrooms at the start here, but if I don't get them, there is a backup route I can go for. So let's see what I have in here. I'm going to wait until about 5 or 6 CPUs pass me and try to get this. Alright, Star will skip it then. So I'm actually going to take this alternate path here. So this is actually the slowest path in Yoshi Valley, so why am I taking it? Because for some reason, it breaks the checkpoint system really badly in such a way where once I get here, provided Bowser doesn't knock me off the track, which he didn't, I can just drive up here and put it in this right. Ah, I was too far to the I might have been too far to the right there. What's supposed to happen there is you're supposed to just cross the finish line and skip an entire lap. But the positioning there is really finicky. Here's the hairpin jump. Which is also not classified as a skip. Why exactly, I'm not sure. So I'm going to use this star to do what I would have done with if I had gotten the triple shrooms here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line myself up on the spot here. And then I'm going to try to position this well. I'm going to drive off here and jump over the fence here, and I'm going to hit this dark line and get that bounce left. That's a good indicator that I got it. As you see here, instant lap. Okay, I got that mushroom. I could have gone back and attempted it again, but I do kind of want to show off this right path shortcut. So, oh wow, nice one with those guys there. I will be trying this again. That was very unlucky. That's fine. So I'm just gonna go here. There we go. That's the right side shortcut. Alright, so up next is Banshee Boardwalk, which also does not have any skips or glitches in it, but Bowser is in the top 4 here. No, it's DK. DK is in the top 4 here. I have no idea who my CPU rivals are at the moment, but hopefully at least one of them is a heavyweight. And the heavyweights are DK, Wario, and Bowser. So it looks like Peach and Toad might be my rivals here, but DK is not too far behind here. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to... Oh, goodness. Okay. So, if I get a heavyweight CPU to finish in 3rd, and then I can... if I get a heavy CPU to finish in 1st, and then I finish in 3rd, that can lead to me being able to do something pretty neat at the start of Rainbow Road. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I got the right rivals. So, when you're on the character select screen, once you select your character, 2 other characters are automatically chosen to be your rivals, and this is just kind of randomly determined. And these CPUs typically have the better rubber banding, and they typically just race better overall. I mean, it looks like Toad and Peach are my rivals here. So that's actually not what I want at all. I want a heavyweight Peach as my rivals here. It does seem like DK is trying to fight for the higher ranks, so he might have a chance at that. I just totally played myself there. That was very unfortunate. So that's actually why I fire all of my green shells backwards, because you can't actually get you can't actually get hit by your own green shell if you fire it backwards. Other CPUs can, but you can't. But you can't get hit by your own green shells if you fire them forward. That lightning was a payback for the lightning I got on Yoshi Valley. So I don't imagine any heavyweights are gonna come in the top here. Yeah, no chance. I'm just gonna go ahead and get first. Alright, so if Rainbow Road goes pretty well here, I can potentially get a round of 31, which is not terrible for a reset list. So what I would have done if a heavyweight CPU had gotten in first and I got in 3rd is I would have jumped off of them at the start of Rainbow Road, and it would have allowed me to make this jump a little easier, but I'm just going to do the standard jump, which is actually pretty difficult to do when you do the CC. Focus here. Alright, that should be good. You have to kind of let go of A shortly before you jump, so that you slow down enough. Otherwise you'll overshoot it. That's the standard jump that I'm sure everybody knows about. So now that I'm in first place, I'm going to aim to get a green shell here, because that will allow me to do something pretty cool at the end of the lap here. So this is another track where I'm basically just praying to get the right RNG here. And I pretty much need to get a green by the end of the lap here, and right now it looks like the game doesn't want to give me one, so I need some less RNGs here. Alright, got a green here. So I'm going to try to use these green shells to fire me over the edge here, and these will allow me to do complete lap kicks similar to Kart and DKJP. But I do also have to execute this, which is just as annoying as actually trying to get a green shell. So let's see what I get. Ah, that's not good. I only have like one more shot now, or else I'll have to drive another lap. And that's it for RNG to behave himself. Alright, this is my last chance for the lap, basically. Oh, I'm gonna get these jumps here anyway. There we go. Nice. So this will accomplish something similar to what you saw on Kart and DKJP, where by crossing the finish line in this manner, once I get placed back down, I'm going to be an entire lap ahead. So now I have even more time to get another green shell and do that exact same thing. And again, RNG kind of has to behave itself here. I could be here a while. Come on. There we go. This chomp is scaring me. Yeah, I do. That chomp was kind of scaring me. So, I do have plenty of time though, because the CPUs are like an entire half a lap behind me. Okay, that was right there. You need to have a really good lineup and a really good angle to get this. There we go. That took quite a while, but at least I was able to get it eventually. So time is going to be when I cross the finish line, so that's coming up here really shortly. Get ready, and time. Alrighty, my timer says 32:44. It's not a great time for a reset list, but that'll do. This is a very punishing category to run, especially in a reset list run like this. So getting a run like this is around as good as you can ask for. So yeah, that's Mario Kart 64. Hope you enjoyed that run. I'll quickly plug this real quick. If you're interested in running time trials for this game, you probably want to check out MarioKart64.com. I myself don't run time trials, but there's a very, very active community for them. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And that will be it for me, so I will throw it back on over to the host.